Oh boy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream scene. It is good to have you guys. We've got an awesome episode for you guys today, talking about exercise and the streaming lifestyle, which are two things that often don't go hand in hand, but we're gonna be talking to two people today that have figured it out. First, let's say hi to my lovely co-host, the Hunter Wild. How's it going, Hunter?
Hello and good morning to everybody out there in StreamerSquare land. I'm really amped for. Who's surprised? Raise your hand. Really
Hunter's
amped.
really amped. Really particularly excited.
I'm uniquely excited for this episode, and especially having these two guests on. For this one, we're talking fitness today, and it's more than fitness in a vague sense. I think a lot of people can sympathize with this. I am uniquely interested in the subject as it pertains to us as streamers. And I'm a full-time streamer myself, but a lot of us are part-time or full-time streamers with careers, with families, and trying to find the ways to adjust your lifestyle to that by itself is a challenge, much less modifying your diet and finding ways to carve out time for fitness and exercise, and the motivation to do all this stuff while you're juggling 1,000 things. Like that for me is a huge, it's critical. That is the thing that determines whether or not you're going to get it done. And that being said, we have two people on the show today who are going to give us really good deets on this. One who focuses on this as of course, personally, but also as a trainer to many effectively, right? And also somebody, and that's TominationTime, and also somebody who has found many times over the ways to achieve this and work it into her life, and also part of the expression of her brand, which is ZombiUnicorn. Good morning, my dudes. How are you guys doing today? And if you wouldn't mind, give us a little bit of an intro to who you are.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm Tom from TominationTime. I'm the first partnered fitness streamer back when just chatting. Oopsie. When IRL, we don't call that anymore, but when IRL was starting, back in the day, I was one of the first streamers to just do fitness only. And that's that when I started Tomination, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Diet and fitness Q&A talk show, just help create a platform where people can get Q&A answered and get a community and understand about that you can get some basic answers quickly from other people, because Googling for stuff can be pretty tough. And let's face it, if you go on Reddit and you ask the wrong question, people are like, are you dumb? Why did you ask that question? Get out of here. And then they downvote and you just feel bad and dumb. So that was what really motivated me to start TominationTime.
Cool. What about you, ZombiUnicorn?
Yeah, I have been an athlete most of my life, and different sports, and some of them for a very long time. And then gaming and streaming happened, and it kind of just took over, and I got a lot out of shape. And I started, realizing this wasn't me, and this wasn't, happy me, like comfortable with my health and everything. So I started training and stuff. And before fitness was even a category, before even like IRL was a category, me and a few other streamers kind of pushed the envelope with trying to get Twitch to like make it a thing. And I even did like a fitness stream on Twitch and was asked to stop because it wasn't a category yet. And they weren't. Yeah, but we ended up having a meeting with Twitch and then like telling them like this is what we would, like and stuff. And obviously IRL came out, and now it's just chatting, and there's all these categories. And I don't really do as much fitness content on Twitch anymore as much as I do on other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it's still a big part of my, of my brand and just of my life. And definitely the diet as well is a huge part for me, especially as a streamer. I think that's one of my biggest things.
For sure.
Maintaining.
I think all of us can really relate to the struggle of finding time to be fit and streaming. I know, like, when I started streaming, before I started streaming, I did sports and stuff. I used to play ice hockey, and then I started streaming, and my physicality, my health definitely took a downturn where, I'm fortunate enough I didn't like get super injured or super ill or anything, but I could get out of breath just like, you know, walking around the block, or I just definitely felt very weak. And
hey, that's me too. I'm out of breath just like jogging. I hate it. Cardio makes me out of breath. Just thinking about it, I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
I actually have exercise-induced asthma, and I've had it all my life, but
Oh,
I
wow.
just kind of power through. Yeah. My heart rate is like target heart rate is like way higher than more normal, you know, most normal people. When they see my heart rate, they're like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And this is just what it's like to have asthma.
What's your resting heart rate at? Or it may not resting, but when you're active, either one.
When I'm doing cardio or I'm doing like cardio lifting, I try to stay between 150 and 170.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like we're talking like just jogging. We're talking jogging, or we're talking like hit cardio.
Anything, any cardio that I'm doing at all. I don't want to go. Sometimes I've gotten close to like 180, and then I feel like I need to stop. If I'm really pushing hard, I'll be like around 180, and that's probably like hit. But
Holy smokes.
I know it sounds scary and stuff, but like for somebody with exercise-induced asthma, it's kind of a normal thing. I could take like medicine for it, but that honestly just like increases my heart rate, like albuterol and all that stuff. So it's better for me to
right.
Yeah. It's like it almost makes it worse. Easier to breathe, worse on the heart rate.
To that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Okay, so like, so I know that we're really, really short on time today. So I kind of want to nail out a couple of like core qualities. One for me, we were talking about diet very briefly. I feel like that this is the easiest one to control as a streamer, and possibly just for anybody. But some people have more time than others. So when it comes to what can have the greatest impact for like the lowest input, I feel like diet is always the go-to. It's always the thing that you can command the most readily. Like for me as a streamer, like, and I'm doing, you know, a bunch of 12-hour streams, I'm streaming constantly and doing this other stuff at the same time. I have many options, tools at my disposal that I can consume on stream without taking a significant break. You know, you've got protein bars, you've got Soylent, you've got all kinds of stuff that you can get like in no time and consume immediately, and still know exactly what the nutrients are, what your macros are, what your calorie input is, and then have that all structured into like an overall approach. What are y'all's takes on this? Like, what's been your experience, and looking at other people as well? I know, Tom, because like you advise people on this stuff. Where do these factor in for us, and where are the variables, and what seems to matter the most? Let me ask more questions.
By far, the most important thing is calories in, calories out, energy balance. And yes, macros matter. Yes, micros matter. Macros being like, you know, carbs, protein, fat. Yes, micronutrients matter. Yes, your hormones matter. All that stuff matters. But by far, the most important foundation is energy balance. And that's where I recommend people to start. So if you are looking to lose weight, you're looking to gain weight, either way, it needs to start with the understanding that if you're trying to lose weight, you've got to reduce the calories you're taking in. If you're hearing this for the first time, two very easy resources to look into this is MyFitnessPal. It's a very easy app, and I recommend a lot of people to start there. Yeah. It's a food diary basically. And I know back in the days, like in the 90s, it was not very sexy to just talk about like getting a piece of paper and writing everything down. Thanks to technology, it's a lot easier now. So we can just use an app, and it's actually quite fast, like 5-10 minutes per day once you kind of get used to it.
It's a habit thing.
You can make your own meals on there too. And like if you make something commonly, you can just add it as a meal and then you add it on there. Yeah, it's super. I love that app. It's great.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And the second place is if you have no idea what energy needs are, it's called your maintenance calories, or your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. There's TDEE calculators on there anywhere. You can find all kinds that just gives you a ballpark for your energy needs. You go to my website, TominationTime.com/TDEE, 2 E's, and it'll give you an idea of where you should be at. And so if you want to lose weight, try to eat less than that. If you want to gain weight, eat more than that. And there's so much you can do right there just from that one piece of information, because a lot of people, their goal is I want to lose weight, and they think like, I've got to do this crazy diet. I got to like change up everything and cook every single meal, and then I'm going to be healthy, and then that's going to make everything better. But that's not really it's not that important. Yes, cook your food, that's great, but you've got to reduce total calories. And guess what? That really just boils down to eating less. You can still eat the same food you've been eating.
Or changing like the makeup of what you're eating, because some foods are more filling but have less calories.
Right. Yes, like low calorie dense meals versus calorie light, for example, like vegetables, celery, spinach, broccoli, carrots. Like, try to eat 100 calories of spinach. That is not easy. That is very difficult.
And I think I've seen your video attempts at doing this too, where you just stuff it directly into your mouth without any dressing and you're like, here, just get it, just this gets it done. Yep. But you have to, like, you're sitting there and you're just shoveling it into your face. But there's a lot of stuff, like there are all the habits of eating and like the sense and experience of the thing that can get like boxes that your body can get checked off even when the calories are not it's not as calorie intensive.
I have to say one of the biggest, like in the last year I've lost about a little over 40 pounds now. And
nice.
Obviously fitness and exercise is is huge. But for me, a lot of it has been, I've also been vegan for the past year. And please take this disclaimer, eat what you want. Not forcing this on anybody, but the science out there talks about how a more plant-based diet, like Americans tend to eat way too much red meat than they're supposed to. It's higher in fat and cholesterol. And we don't eat enough fiber usually. And we don't usually eat enough vegetables. And so they recommend eating, more plants in your diet and stuff. And for me, that has helped me lose so much weight and just keep it off and maintain. And I find it easier to eat less calories because I'm not eating these high fat, high calorie dense proteins and things like that. I'm eating all plant-based. So I'm naturally just already eating less calories, but still getting all my nutrients.
Yeah, and it's surprising. A lot of people are surprised by how easy it can be, and a lot of people are never convinced by it. I was vegan for 2 years, and I mostly eat vegan now. But I eat whatever I want. It just happens to I mostly want to eat plants all top to bottom, and it's ridiculously easy to do this. Now there are some factors that are important, like you can eat vegan trash. I had a friend who was
Oreos
are vegan.
Yeah, exactly. Oreos are vegan. Yeah, there's all kinds of garbage that you can eat. That's
well, then I can go
but
vegan. Then I mean,
I know, right? Exactly. It's like, well, I can do that. But it sounds like it's to a lot of people making changes to your diet, whatever it happens to be. A lot of it sounds like it's costly. It's for rich people. These are some of the big like sort of psychosocial hindrances that we have to it.
Well, I think
as well. But these
has
they
been
can be really easy.
Yeah, I think it has been for a while like a very difficult thing to achieve, especially going to restaurants. My sister's been a vegetarian for 10 years now, and the difference between now and when we were younger is huge, going to restaurants and finding better options. So like accessibility is definitely an important thing, especially for people that live a very busy lifestyle, which, streamers do. Like sometimes we forget to eat in general. And I think like one of the things that we struggle with is having that energy and feeling full during a cast, right? Because like we don't want to eat on stream. We don't want to do anything that really interrupts the flow of the content. So what are your guys' suggestions for having energy and staying full during a cast?
I have plenty and plenty of all kinds of like little healthy snacks, like protein bars and like nuts, like little kale chips, like anything. And then I often like make myself like little Ziploc baggies of raw carrots. Just like anything. And then of course, like meal prepping or, drinks like, Soylent or Huel or whatever, like those are always really helpful too. Cause then you just get up, you're like, okay, I'm going to go get to, take a quick restroom break, hop up, get a drink and grab one of those like little healthy snacks instead of like eating crap,
I think the drinkables makes a big difference. Cause like everybody drinks water throughout their cast, right? Everybody's got like the stay hydrated bot in their stream and whatever. And you're always going to be drinking something in there, and to just grab another type of a thing that you do the same action with makes no difference. And you don't have to worry about people with
Crunching
like
on the
misophonia
mic.
or something, and you're crunching on camera.
I don't mind. People love my crunching.
ASMR,
and
chip
seeing
crunching.
in your mouth and everything, right? So you don't have to worry about
ASMR is hot
if
now.
you have then. It's hot stuff. It's admittedly.
What do you guys? I was actually gonna ask like what you guys think about like the Soylent and the meal replacement things.
I used to be sponsored by Soylent for about a year, and then they kind of like have backed out of gaming a bit. But I still like it. I just don't. I'm like, I don't buy it because I make my own. I make a lot of my own food now. But if they were to send it to me, I'd still drink it. It's great. Like I like some of the flavors. I think it does kind of fill you up. The only thing for me was I was really when I was drinking it heavily, I was like really following my macros, and there are definitely more carbs to protein in that in those drinks than I would prefer. So I've actually gone to some other drinkables. Like there's one called Vega. They sell it at like Target, groceries, everywhere. It's like Vega protein. Yeah, and it's got a higher protein protein to carb ratio in it, and it has a lot of vitamins and stuff too. So
what was it called?
It's Vega. They sell a powder, and then they do like little boxes of 4 bottles.
I'm gonna check that bad boy out. I'm interested in that one.
And it's a little less calories than the Soylent as well. So
okay. Tom, give us your deets.
Dragon
what
Rot.
was the most recent question? Yeah, it's getting me.
Drinkable.
Tips for staying full and energized during a cast, and thoughts on meal replacement drinks.
So like Soylent, I'm not a huge fan of consuming a lot of Soylent. Now I've never had Soylent. I've read the ingredients, but I'm not a huge fan of replacing a lot of your meals from it, just simply from the precautionary principle of humans have not had liquid meals this often, this frequently, and we don't know what's going to happen. There might be zero effect. It might be still great.
Yeah, I don't think it should be every meal, but yeah.
That's their own claim. So having talked to somebody from their team, they're like, yeah, and I think they have this as part of their philosophy that's posted too. Is like this is a meal replacement. This is not your diet. Do not confuse those two things. Replace a meal. Do not only eat, as much as we'd love to sell you as much as we can, like you should not be doing that. That's not how a good diet works. You should have a rounded diet that has a bunch of factors, bunch of things.
It's boring to drink the same thing over.
But in terms of meal replacement drinks, with the assumption that someone's goal is to lose weight, I'm actually I advise against liquid meals because liquid meals tends to not trigger as many satiating factors that say eating something that's more filling, more volume, like say an apple versus applesauce versus apple juice, right? In that order, that for 100 calories for each one, the apple is gonna have the most bulk, the most filling volume compared to like apple juice, right? Like 100 calories apple juice, like, give me 10 more. That's nothing. But for 100 calories of apple, that's kind of filling for,
what about,
for what you're getting.
Streamer, where we have the time that's on stream. We have that where most of us don't want to break it up. Most of us don't want to.
So my solution for that is if you need to do a liquid meal because you are low on time and you need some kind of energy, something to go in there, and again, your goal is weight loss, because I know that's a very common goal. Casein protein, to me, that is an unsung hero of weight loss that people don't talk enough about. So when you think about protein powders, yes, I will. So when you think about protein powders, most people think of whey. Whey is the most common one. It is a dairy-based protein. It is cheap. It is arguably the best amino acid profile, or basically the parts of the protein is like the best for just building and sustaining muscle. It's good for a lot of reasons. Now, casein, so like a milk protein, there's actually 2 parts, whey and casein. And so you can do this at home, fun science experiment. Get some milk, kind of warm it up on a saucepan, add some vinegar. It will curdle and separate into the curds and the whey. The whey is the liquid, the watery stuff. That's the whey protein. It gets dehydrated. Then you consume that later as a protein powder. And then the curds, the solid piece that usually goes on to be cheese or whatever. That's mostly casein protein. Casein protein is super slow digesting and very filling. And so what I tell people is, like, if you struggle with, I need to get some sort of quick liquid meal, or I need a meal replacement shake, or I go to bed hungry, and that's kind of a problem for me. I have late night binging or whatever. Casein protein. Try it out. Casein protein. Seriously, it's so filling for so few calories. And so my suggestion for a would be try it out. Just 300 or 400 calories of a casein protein plus some milk, for example, any milk that you like. That's going to be a really thick milkshake, and it's going to last you a long time. Like,
am I going to need a fork and knife for this milkshake?
It's going to take some work to drink it, because a lot of people, like, they're surprised how filling it is.
My milkshake.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah. But I do want to dispel one thing, which is, if you are dieting down and if you are losing a significant amount of weight, you're not going to feel full energized all the time. Okay. If you're morbidly obese and you've lost 10, 20 pounds, yeah, you know what? You'll probably feel a little bit better. But if you've lost, let's say 10% of your body weight, 20% of your body weight, it's going to hit you eventually where your energy levels are going to be lower. That is normal. That is natural.
Now,
If someone claims they're like, I'm so full of energy all the time, they're probably lying or trying to sell you something. Okay.
I'm so full of energy all the time. Listen, the important question, the important follow-up here that I think that I don't necessarily have myself, but I imagine that is immediately shows up in a lot of people's minds is, okay, less energy. Give me coffee. Give me Red Bull. Give me any number of things. Is that a sufficient addition to everything that you consume throughout the day in order to, because we have to provide, this is another uniquely streamer related thing that of course is shared elsewhere to some degree, but we have to perform with a level of energy, with a magnitude of energy that is unshared in any other career I've ever had. If we're having lower energy issues, what do?
I think
so. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I wanted to add on to something before though. The time of day that I usually end up taking any kind of liquid meal replacement or anything is usually the morning, because in the morning my stomach is not ready to process like whole food. If I work out on, after eating, I feel like throwing up. Like it's just not.
Right. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. And then I do take like a daily guarana supplement, and I take a lot of vitamins and stuff like that. Just honestly taking my B complex, sublingual, and like all my vitamins, zinc, everything like that. I have so much energy every day rather than not taking vitamins. I feel like crap at the end of the day. I might have forgotten to take my vitamins, and it's like, oh crap, Natalie, don't forget that next time. But one of the other things that I notice is that a lot of people resort to drinking caffeine to stay up on caffeine and everything like that. And I do love coffee, Cuban coffee, anything, lattes, whatever. But everybody has those side effects, like the jitteriness, the feeling awful. And I try not to take in as much caffeine anymore. But if I do need to, one natural supplement that I love to take is L-theanine. And it's just a natural amino acid that occurs in plants. It literally doesn't have any like negative side effects. It just kills all the negative side effects of caffeine. People take it for anxiety too, even if they don't drink caffeine. Like I just can't sing the praises of L-theanine enough, because it's amazing.
100% agree. Yeah. Theanine, dose it 1-to-1 with caffeine, and it really, just like she said.
I take like a sublingual version, like a liquid version, and it tastes great. So it's really good.
They have caffeine pills. They sell it with theanine for anyone who's looking for like something cheap, just to see how you feel on it, because it really does. If you feel
you're cut off.
Wait,
the edge off.
Say it again.
I was saying L-theanine combined, like they have pills where they sell caffeine and theanine together, and it can really take the edge off of caffeine for those who don't really feel good on it. But back to your question, Hunter, like, yeah, I understand. Like, we've got to bring that full energy to the stream. And so this is where meal timing can make a difference, and macronutrient balance and micronutrients, like Zombie already said. Like, if you're micronutrient deficient in certain things, that can definitely affect your energy for sure. In terms of macros, some
vitamins.
some people feel really bad or really good off of carbs or fat. And so that's just something you got to experiment with. Like, if you feel good on a high carb diet or a low carb diet.
Sure.
Exactly. Like self-experimentation. Like, you can look at all the studies in the world, and the study says, well, this high fat or low fat diet seems to be the best or whatever. That doesn't mean it's the best for you.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Right. Of course.
So like, and a lot of times those studies are done like, well, okay, we looked at the entire population. It just seems like most of the people, a majority fell into this statistical significance area. So that doesn't mean there's outliers who actually didn't do well with that. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked.
Right. Well, we're passionate about this damn subject.
So I do want to talk a little bit.
One more thing about the caffeine.
Yeah, go ahead.
About like sleep is so important, and a lot of times we are masking our sleep problems. Hunter, did you get your sleep today?
Brother, listen.
But caffeine, if you need caffeine to start your day, like that's probably a sign you're not getting enough sleep.
Right,
like,
and I imagine that ZombiUnicorn, this is part of the same thing that you were, that probably informed like how you approach it now. Is the same thing that I'm looking at. Is I build up a tolerance, and then to get a base level of energy for being a normal hunter, I have to then consume a certain amount of coffee in order to just reach normalcy. And then in order to get the extra boost, maybe I'm having a rough day, I have to drink more of it. And then this becomes obviously problematic.
I also just love the taste of coffee.
Oh God, yes, coffee. Coffee. I will always drink it because it's just that good.
But I'm honestly at a point. I've been taking. I mean, I used to suck at taking my vitamins and my supplements. And then because I became vegan and I needed to make sure that I was getting all my complete, nutrients and everything, I was like, oh man, I need to make sure I'm on a good regimen. So I have one of those old lady pill caddies that has like night and day, but I only use one, and I use it for 2 weeks. I fill it up with everything that I need. I take iron, I take extra stuff like chromium and cinnamon, which helps with your blood sugar metabolism. So it helps me like crave less sugar. I still eat sugar, but I crave it less. Dude. And it's crazy, but I've been taking it probably all my supplements almost every single day, maybe missing like once here and there, probably for like 8 months now. And I have never had as much energy without drinking coffee. And I only will drink coffee if it's just like been a really long day, or if it's like post workout and I'm really feeling a nap, I'll drink a coffee so I don't nap. That's always like the struggle for me. Yeah.
I used to be the same where I needed coffee all the time. I was drinking like 4 to 8 cups of coffee a day just to function.
Jesus.
Yes. And I broke it. I broke the cycle to the point where I didn't need coffee anymore. I could function just fine without it. And the secret was get sleep. It's as simple as it sounds. Like there's more to sleep than just duration, like, laying down for 8 hours, but it's just smart sleep hygiene, keeping the room cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is sleep hygiene? I've not heard this term before.
Sleep hygiene, it works in the same way. Think of it in terms of a general cleanliness. What are the habits that you take to make sure that you aren't a stinky nerd at a convention? You have a list of things, you follow that list, you check it off, and you are not a stinky nerd at a convention, right? You do the same thing with your sleep hygiene. You have a structure, a general structure at least, to what you do before you get to sleep, and or set up certain conditions and atmospheres for they're pre-sleep and sleep conditions.
Did you become a dog suddenly, Zombie?
So like for me, and probably for literally everybody, cessation of social media within an hour before you go to sleep. Reducing blue screen exposure and blue light exposure for a certain amount of time before you go to sleep. Always attempting to go to sleep at the same time every day. Having these certain things that are blocked out is like washing your hands regularly at a convention and putting on deodorant and making sure that you shower. And if you sweat too much, like maybe try and cool off, and like these kinds of things that create that hygienic quality of cleanliness to your sleep.
Yeah, and it's about like, because you're gonna get like, you want to maximize whatever, like let's just say you're sleeping for 8 hours. I don't know a lot of us who do, but let's say we're sleeping 8 hours and you want the best quality sleep you can get in those 8 hours. You want to maximize as much as possible, so as restorative as possible. And so you do the things like Hunter mentioned, plus other stuff like the blue light blocking glasses, or just try to dim the lights, avoid stimulation. It doesn't matter if you're looking at a screen or read a book. But like, I don't know about you guys, but like after a stream, I'm so stimulated and excited because it feels 100%. Like a performance that it's just so hard.
No
to
one
fall
can
asleep.
sleep right after a stream.
No,
which is why I switched everything to morning stream.
Even a 24-hour stream, you have a wind down period after.
Yeah.
What is that about? Oh God, yes.
And so building that into your schedule is really important. Like as soon as you're done streaming, doing something like really like seriously all shut down everything as fast as you can and just get out of there.
Yeah.
Because social media is so stimulating to try to like talk with people and think of something clever or think of a response. And that it stimulates their brain in a way it's going to keep it up. Like get a routine for when you're at night prior to bed and avoid stimulation, get the room cool, get the room pitch black, try to kill all the lights. Those are all examples of sleep hygiene. I can talk about it for a long time, but also the daytime stuff. Like you want blue light during the day. You want to get outside, get the blue light exposure. Exactly. Like, you know, the whole right now, actually, I'm not going to name any names about some glasses companies, but some of them are selling the blue light blocking glasses. They're saying stuff like they're pitching it in a way that makes it seem like you've got to block blue light all the time. That's just wrong. You look at scientists in Antarctica, for example, they need blue light exposure during the day. Otherwise they get depressed, right? They have like those special blue lights when it get in the winters, Antarctica, they have no light at all.
Yeah. So your sad lights, your seasonal affective disorder lights are
exactly.
Amplify this for you.
Gotcha.
Like, so that's why they say like
taking your
get
vitamin D
outside
every day
30 minutes.
Yes.
True.
Yes,
Everyone could use some
And
vitamin D like pills
So
for sure.
I take 4,000 UI. I take a lot, even though I do go outside, just because it really helps my mood. And St. John's wort is another thing with mood as well.
Absolutely.
So, on this particular subject, which is close to my heart, for the first time since I started streaming this year, I have been going to sleep unmedicated. Now, I've just been taking diphenhydramine, which is allergy medication. That's like, don't operate a motor vehicle when you're taking this because you can be drowsy, right? So it's a thing that helps me get into a sleepier mood. And I've been using that every single night since I started streaming, but only since I started streaming because I get overamped and I have 1,000 concerns and ideas, right? I'm thinking back about, should I have said that thing to that one person today? And did that thing that troll said? And I'm going to be broke forever. And then all the projects that I have, right? And like all these things, I cannot get to sleep with it. But I also had terrible sleep hygiene. And so I've been married for most of it. I recently got divorced. She was telling me the entire time, she's like, you're such an idiot with your sleep. And I'm like, I know, but I can't really change it. Get good sleep hygiene. I know, but it's so hard. And I've finally gotten around to it, to creating the conditions specifically because of how problematic it has seemed to be to get control of my sleep. And it is going really fantastically for the most part. I've taken it really seriously and take it from somebody whose mind is going at 1,000,000 miles a minute and has literally been medicating himself to sleep as a constant streamer, right? Like not only just full time, but like on camera all the time. You can totally make this transition. It is absolutely achievable with create the habits for it. That's the most critical part is you're not going to turn everything off and stop social media the first night and be perfectly fine, or even the first week, or maybe even the first month. But you create the conditions that allow you to ease into this, and that will help with everything else. Everything else about fitness and your energy levels and your competence, a lot of that ties directly back into how restful your sleep is.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
There's another supplement I wanted to say that can go in your sleep hygiene routine. It's ZMA. You take it before bed, I think, and it's got zinc in it. And basically you take it before sleep and it helps you wake up feeling more rested as well. I don't know. I've tried it so many times and it really just does, but also you need to get your full rest, but
yeah, magnesium in general is the magic ingredient there. So if anyone doesn't want to get ZMA,
magnesium,
but magnesium is the main one. And also, I would, if anyone's going to buy magnesium, avoid the oxide form. Just pretty much get any form other than oxide. Oxide is the cheapest, lowest absorption form. It's around like a 5% bioavailability. So you're kind of just wasting your money with that.
Gotcha. So there is one more thing I do want to touch on before we wrap up for the day, and that's the streaming aspect of fitness. How has the streaming space changed, like for you, especially Tom, who still does it? Like, how was it initially, and what does it look like on Twitch now?
Oh man, it's not an amazing outlook. So it's a small pond. Twitch fitness is a very small pond, and I don't see it moving very much. I just kind of think in terms of what Twitch is now, the audience and the type of content, it's only mildly interesting for people. Like obviously my stream is the most exciting, but besides that, it's going to be very it's not a big pond, so I don't see it like exploding and grow to like say
I think
if you
there's
were
some
streaming
stigmas we need to get
Fortnite
over.
early. Like what?
I think one of the reasons I stopped streaming fitness is because of how I personally, as a female, am treated because I'm doing fitness content.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I'm
that's an
sure it's
entirely
not
different lens.
pleasant a lot of the
It's
time.
not pleasant a lot of times.
There's
Yeah,
unique
pleasant's
trolls
definitely
for
not a word
sure
I use with it.
for fitness streams in particular, and I'm sure Zombie gets a even more unique brand of trolls that'll go for her.
Probably.
But the trolls have calmed down, but the space is kind of saturated. It's saturated in the sense, like, or I should say plateaued. I don't see it growing much right now unless things drastically change, and I don't know what can change because the whole IRL split up when they created the sports and fitness category was actually detrimental to pretty much all the fitness streamers.
So a
We
lot
had
of
more
different
just chatting.
categories, to be honest.
A lot of categories, yeah.
Yeah.
Like creative
So, like,
spread into so many different things itself, just as one quality.
I think technically you still could stream under just chatting.
I do actually.
Yeah,
It's a lot
yeah.
better there.
Yeah, and I think the splitting of the categories is a little rough on everything, to be fair. But I think that I personally didn't pursue it because I was tired of, like, you know, maybe not even just like the troll comments of, like, you know, lewd stuff or whatever, but like also just people coming in there being like, oh, you're fat, blah, blah, blah. You know, like that's, you know, that sucks.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not, but like that's not what you want to hear when you're working out. Like I work out with a personal trainer who's like constantly lifting me up and like kicking my butt and like getting me to, you know, to go and achieve the goals that I want. And you want like a community, and most of my community is really supportive and stuff, but you do have those randoms. And I think until, I don't know, until there's like a little bit more, like you said, there's a plateau, and until there's some way to like break through that, I don't think that I personally would go back to streaming fitness content as much. I talk about fitness, but I wouldn't stream it because that stuff to me, it is kind of at a standstill, and I don't see a reason to subject myself to
this. I think this brings up another question that I particularly want to, I obviously want to hear both y'all's perspectives on everything, but ZombiUnicorn, your perspective on this particular quality, especially since I'm starting to do it more myself. And Tom, you and I have privately talked about this several times. So adding it in as a factor to your brand. So I'm never going to stream fitness. I'm never going to have fitness streams themselves. Like I'm not going to show myself going through the entire process of my workout and stuff. Qualities of it, like intellectual aspects of like, how do we do certain things? Why does it matter? Motivational elements and whatever. But where do you think the value is? How much emphasis do you put on it? Is there a point of overexposure? What is the right balance for and how much and of what type of things do you feel is good and valuable to share for any number of reasons? I heard some input when it comes to adding it into your brand, because our brands are our personalities,
our lives too, right?
And our lives.
Yeah, I think for me personally, like I've been on Twitch for 7 years. I made a decision a long time ago to just make content about my life. So I'm not like I'm not like an on-camera personality. I'm the same on as I am off. Maybe I'm a little bit more energetic at times, but I have a lot of very chill streams too and chill content. So I'm kind of just who I am on screen, off screen. So for me, whatever I can incorporate from my real life into my content, I do, and whatever I'm comfortable with. But that's different for everybody. And as far as, you know, me with sharing my exercise or my diet and stuff like that, I do talk about it on stream. I don't really stream it anymore, but I do tend to post like my pictures and stuff like that on other platforms where I still get some, you know, unwanted comments and things, but, you know, it's a little bit more well received, like, you know, Instagram or Twitter. People tend to be a lot more receptive to fitness content there, and it grows a little bit better. So for me, I kind of made that decision to share my fitness content, like videos, photos, whatever, routines elsewhere rather than on Twitch. And then I'll talk about it on Twitch. That's kind of the decision I made. But for everybody, it's different. I think it's just really what you're comfortable with. And
Sure.
I would highly suggest to anybody who's starting streaming, even not even just fitness, but like gaming or whatever, try not to get stuck in like one game, one category, one thing, because then, you know, that's not our lives. We do in life, we have a lot of different interests and passions usually. And so if you want to be able to
Usually, but not always.
and not get, not always, but you know, if you don't want to get burnt out as easily, then I suggest having like a variety.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
can I answer your question? Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
yeah. So if you're gonna start trying to bring in fitness and stuff, understand what kind of in terms of, is it going to be like educational journey? Because I'm sure Zombie can relate to this. There's backseat gamers, and you better believe there's backseat lifters. Backseat dietitians. Like, you're doing the keto diet or you're eating carbs and sugar. Don't you know? Don't you know? Oh my God, I read this one article. I'm ready to tell you about everything. Like they're gonna come out of the woodworks, and it's up to you if you want to debate them. Just like, oh, okay, yeah, that's nice. Because it's gonna happen no matter what you say or what you do. But don't get discouraged by that. But just be mentally prepared, because they're going to criticize like even your form, even if your form is correct. Even if your textbook correct, they think they know something and they're gonna criticize it. We usually just ban them, because like I don't want to talk to someone who's just who's even like who's coming at me in a condescending way. But that you can absolutely work it in. And I think one of the values of that you could bring with fitness and diet and health is the market is huge, right? The market is absolutely huge. Who cares about maintaining health? I do, right? Every single person would care about self-preservation. So to bring that in, there's an opportunity to do that. And it's just one more avenue to connect with your viewers, because that's the community aspect. When people say, it's good to have community for diet and health and stuff, what does that really mean?
So
well,
true.
we have a community for gamers, right? Like, do you guys play StarCraft, or did you play StarCraft before? StarCraft 2?
Nope.
Yeah, I know the shame of being bad at that game. Yeah.
So like, just think of any game with the patches, or like E3, any game in that. Like, you want to tell somebody about it, like, oh my God, you hear about like StarCraft 3 or Last of Us 2? You see the trailer? It's so crazy. Ellie's old now. And then like, talk to your parents about that. Talk to your like grandparents or coworkers who don't play games. Like, there's no community there.
No,
they're not going to care.
No positive feedback.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, cool,
exactly.
let's talk about anything else then.
Yeah, like, why are you talking to me about this? And the same thing for like diet and fitness. If you can find people to connect with and just talk about it in your journey, you're gonna find other people who'll connect with you. Versus like, you go talk to a random coworker, like, oh hey, I just lost like 20 pounds. Be like, bro, why are you talking to me about this? You're trying to like, show off. You're trying to say I need to lose weight. Like, they'll get defensive and stuff. So you can build that community in your Twitch stream, and then you can find other people who care, and people who will care when you tell them like, oh, I got some new PR in a lift, or I started going an extra day, or I've made some progress in weight loss and weight gain. And that is going to help you stick, because that's the kind of community where you care about something, they care about too, and you guys get excited together and you build off each other. So,
I share my struggles too. Like,
absolutely.
And one little tip I would say for streamers as well is that's really helped me is to have like I don't want to have a full gym in my apartment because I don't have the space, but I just got a pull-up bar not long ago. I have like a Swedish ball, and I have like some like small weights around. So like if I just see it and I'm walking around the house and I have a little boost of energy, I'm like, oh, let me try and do some pull-ups or chin-ups right now real quick. Every time I go to the bathroom, there's a chin-up bar right there in the hallway. So I like hit 5, whatever I can do. And that's like really motivating to just have those little things around the house that I see. But I absolutely will post my struggles. Like the other day, I'm finally able to do some half chin-ups, unassisted, and I'm getting, working my way up to like full chin-up, full pull-up. Nice. And I even, I posted like, hey, I know this is a half chin-up and my form is crap, but this is my struggle, and I couldn't do this like a week ago. And it was so encouraging to see all the positive reinforcement. And people who are like, man, I can't even do that, but you're inspiring me to do it now. And that just makes me feel even better. Yeah. So, and of course I had a lot of people explaining the proper form and stuff, even though said that I didn't.
Don't you know, Zombie? Don't you know?
God damn it.
What?
I know.
That's awesome. So we do have to wrap it up here, guys. We have a shorter show today. But this was jam-packed full of information, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this awesome episode. Let's do some shout outs. Zombie, where can we find you and what are you up to?
Well, I hopefully will be streaming later when my internet is fixed. It is my birthday and I'm having a subathon, and if not tonight, we'll reschedule it for this week.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I'm old.
Yay! Fireworks!
I'm the zombie unicorn on everything. Noe and zombie, so it's really easy.
Awesome.
So I'm TominationTime. I'm streaming in the mornings, Monday through Friday, around 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. We do Legion giveaways. I think you can kind of see. No, you can't see, but Legion supplements giveaways every Wednesday morning, except Wednesday. But I've got
I love Legion. That's most of what I use myself.
They're having a 15% off coupon right now. Code Tom15 just supports me, and it's 15% off for you. But
I literally told Tom to DM me that because I have to get some refills here soon. I'm gonna be going ham on that one.
So I'm streaming in the mornings. This diet fitness Q&A show. So I work out, and between sets we just chit chat, and I get people started. Like, what's a good basic diet? Like, where do I begin at the gym? How do I do a workout? That kind of stuff. Very simple stuff. Even advanced questions. We'll take them all. I got a special event coming up with the founder of Legion. Actually, he's a pretty big content creator. Like, his podcast has like millions of downloads. He's Mike Matthews. On April 29th, Monday morning, we'll be on Front Page from 7 to 9 a.m. And we are, Front Page. And we're doing an interview with him about the supplements industry and how shady the supplements industry is. And just him business entrepreneur, his motivation getting started, because he's a self-made millionaire. He started with nothing, wrote a book, turned it into a supplements company. So we'll be picking his brain on that, and then doing two massive giveaways, two $200 supplement giveaways at the end of the stream.
Awesome.
So that's what I'm up to.
Cool. I'm really excited for that one. I rail on the supplements industry constantly. But there are good,
build your
actors
own
and bad actors.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I am the Hunter Wild. I stream mostly games, but broadly speaking, and I'm doing launch events all the time. My next one is starting tomorrow, maybe tonight. I can't tell if the game is released yet. I'm trying to figure that out like right after the show. For Anno 1800, our formal event is going to start tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can find me at twitch.tv/thehunterwild for all of that stuff, and I include everything about my life and considerations in all of my content. So it's not restricted to games. And some people are like, oh, I don't want to derail the conversation about the video game. I'm like, bro, I have been an artist, a game developer, have a degree in philosophy. I'm all about the fitness and health right now. It's everywhere. We talk about everything. I love it. You can find me on Twitter at the Hunter Wild TV. There's a T and a V at the end. I don't know what signs make that. And everywhere else is pretty much the Hunter Wild. And proud to be a co-owner of StreamerSquare right here, trying to bring you the absolute maximum of the best content from so many wonderful friends like TominationTime and ZombiUnicorn, who give us the maximum details, blasting it right to the top. And I really appreciate you guys being on the stream today, especially ZombiUnicorn, who's gone to great lengths and sacrifices to actually come on and give us all the beautiful details and information. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us. I enjoy these fitness talks a lot, these fitness podcasts. So yeah, I'm open to come back.
Yeah, this has
you'll
been
be back.
We'll get you guys back for sure. This has been an awesome episode. Thank you guys so much. And I'm Loco. You can find me at LOWCO on Twitch. I stream all the games. I am currently fighting the last boss in Sekiro, so I'm doing that tomorrow. And that should be fun. And then I'm going to be checking out Anno for sure this week.
Yes.
So that's going to do it for us. If you guys enjoyed this show, we do this every single Monday, so make sure to follow the channel. We also have a show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern called The Stream Doctor, where I take your channel and I basically give you feedback live, and we talk about streaming and answer questions. very casual, fluid, and super, super helpful show. So definitely tune into that tomorrow. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you definitely should. And you can find us on StreamerSquare on YouTube, Twitter, the website, basically everywhere, and Discord, where you can talk to other streamers, ask questions, find artists to work with, etc. That's all available for free. And a big thanks to that is due to our Patreon, which I am terrible at doing commands right now.
Thank you so much.
Typing is
patrons, for
hard.
allowing this to be possible. All of our free content that everybody gets benefit from is largely thanks to the people who go out of their way to contribute money and get extra goodies from our Patreon, which you can check it out really easily at patreon.com/StreamerSquare.
Yeah, we do behind the scenes videos, we do coaching, we have a lot of cool stuff. So definitely check that out and support this so we can do more fun educational stuff for you guys. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Stream Doctor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.